Welcome to techCast, the podcast that quenches curiosity, powered by QNA Marcom. techCast, where we deep dive into the exciting world of technology, bringing you the latest trends, innovations, and thought-provoking discussions. Join us on this exciting journey as we explore the boundless possibilities of technology.
Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of techCast powered by QNA Marcom. My name is Swapna Subramani and I'm your host for today. As we approach the Middle East Payment Summit, I have yet another interesting person who I would like to share this podcast stage with today and discuss some interesting facts about payments, security, banking, all the fun stuff. I would like to welcome to the studios today Mr. Julian Guttierrez, who is the CTO of Pyypl, the leading digital bank in the region. Hello, Mr. Julian.
Hello, Sonna. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for QNA for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here today, and it's a pleasure to have you. I just want to, get to know you better first. So can you please let us know a little bit more about your journey? Interesting place to be right now, Pyypl, interesting times within the security landscape, within the digital landscape, within the financial industry as a whole. So, what's your background? What brings you here?
Really challenging one. My background is easy. I came from Colombia. I'm a Colombian. My journey starts on the finance perspective in Malta when I started all my career as a finance expert. I'm a telecommunications engineer myself.
Okay.
So all my background is infrastructure based.
Okay.
That is a different perspective from the regulatory thing. So it's where the stuff needs to be done and executed. And I love to do it. Then I was invited from Malta to work with Pyypl and help them to be compliant with all the regulators and try to put all the stuff in order from the team perspective. Regulatory perspective. Okay. And of course, all the challenges that requires to be a startup in a really, really hard environment to work.
Of course.
So, quite challenging, but really good.
Right. And it's interesting because banking by itself, we were just talking about this, that banking by itself is, a challenging kind of industry because it's very sensitive, deals with sensitive information, deals with money, deals with assets of people. So it's a very sensitive industry as such. And then, you bring digital into it.
Yes.
And completely digital, as a matter of fact, it becomes a whole different ball game. So what do you think in this environment, like what have been some of the regulatory and compliance challenges that you've seen in the digital banking landscape?
So in digital banking is a completely entire environment that changed all the rules that the banks used to have in the past. So they are learning fast and probably we need to go faster now. All these changes that came from the 2000 or more or less, all these new challenges that we have from the security perspective and the infrastructure perspective modify how the banking is working.
Yes.
The arriving of the cryptocurrencies, for example, how we are moving money between countries, how we are moving money inside the countries, and all the possibilities that we have, for example, with the tap to pay on the cell phone, so people not even need to bring cards.
Yeah.
Or paying through QR codes, or this kind of stuff that are new technologies and that the small companies like Pyypl can embrace really quickly. But huge companies like the regular bank and regular money cannot embrace so fast.
Yeah.
Bring a huge challenge into the regulatory perspective. And we are seeing that this is affecting everything right now and it's taking place in different countries. Indeed, I think one of the biggest challenges of this kind of environments is that probably the regulatory environment is not going as fast enough as the startups that are creating the new challenging work and that is adapting to the people requirements itself. That is what we do. So yeah, it's quite amazing. And what the stuff that are happening and how fast we need to embrace it and how fast we need to grow with this and how fast we need to act regarding the requirements of the people, the persons, not the company. Yeah. In all the areas is quite amazing. It's a really nice place to be right now from the infrastructure perspective and regulatory perspective.
And I think you must have seen like a major shift over the years as well, right? In the regulatory landscape for in the financial industry.
Absolutely. We came from a quite open world that used to use common channels for everybody, like the regular banks and the regular fiat money. And now we see a world that is adapting to be more private. So we have an expansion that we get globalized, and now we are starting to shrink a bit, and the countries are starting to take control of the important stuff that they don't see as so important at that time, like the personal information of people. For people in our company, for example, we have a huge challenge managing the information inside countries that requires that the information is stored inside countries.
Right.
If you add this to the PCI DSS requirements, and more now with the version 4, then you find that this kind of countries doesn't have the infrastructure they require to embrace us as a startup inside those countries. So they want to be there, but they are not ready to be there.
Right.
So we need to help them to be there as an infrastructure company trying to bring these kind of solutions to the world.
True.
So it's quite challenging.
Yeah, there's like a constant like catch up that has to be played.
Exactly.
Right.
From all the sides.
Correct. So what is, you mentioned about the PCI DSS version 4.0 that is released last year. What are some of the significant changes and how friendly it is to the digital banking ecosystem from the previous versions?
Yes. Coming from the infrastructure perspective, that is my area specifically, you can have 2 points of view. You can act directly fighting against the PCI DSS. I don't want it, and then I will get it.
Yes.
That will be more difficult for you. Or you can use it as a blueprint for your creations since the beginning of your products. I used to work with both sides. My former company, EPG Financials, was a company that has all the infrastructure running into all data centers running by them, and then we move everything to the cloud environment. The current company is entirely cloud-based. And be compliant in cloud is hard, but it's possible. I could say that it's probably better than making it in the regular environment like bare metal servers. But yeah, these challenges of the PCI DSS 4 are good. They are adapted really, really well to the current requirements. Probably they require more upgrades because this is going really fast. But basic stuff like the two-factor authentication is something that we see in the industry for the last, 4 years, 5 years. Now it's mandatory everywhere. If you don't have it, please do it. I think it's really important to have it as a person. And we have a lot of cases that this could be probably the main entrance for this kind of problem that we can have from the cybersecurity, the breaches, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's quite well aligned and will help us a lot if you use it as a blueprint to follow the rules.
And overall, within digital banking, what are some of the major challenges you're seeing that is happening because of I know you're already digital, so that whole transformation doesn't have to happen because a lot of the banks are digitally transforming, so that's a different set of challenges. But within a bank that is born in the digital space already, but still there is a lot of technology changes that is happening constantly, right? So what are some of the challenges that you're seeing as a bank born in the digital world, but still, seeing the rapid transformation in the technology landscape?
In our case, it's speed. The startups has the advantage that we are light, so we can run. A regular bank probably has a huge environment that they need to modify or try to grow or try to adapt to a different kind of environment that is changing really fast. We have this agility into us. Not only as a concept for the development perspective, but agility as we are fast to adapt. But being fast brings some problems because then you need to be compliant. And all the regulatory environments, countries, or regulatory entities like FSRA or any other entity that works around the world, they are not going so fast. Middle East, UAE in particular, is quite fast, more faster than probably any other entity in the world. They are adapting really fast and they are modern. But sometimes we need to push them a bit. We need to teach them what we are doing so they can adapt of the stuff that we are doing. The problem is one country is not enough for us. We need to run in different countries. So in that case...
And every country has a little bit of a different...
Exactly. And then that's the place where PCI is really useful, because if you are PCI DSS compliant, you are compliant with these big brands that are already well known in other countries. So you can teach to the regulatory entities that are in every country that you are already aligned with all the security perspectives, and then probably they can speed up your processes. So my invitation is, if you are working in finance and you need to jump to a different countries or different merchants or different places, be PCI DSS compliant first and then jump. That would be the idea.
So that's like one platform that is across countries, irrespective of what the individual country regulations are.
Absolutely. It's a really starting blueprint that you can use and you can bring to your company to a different level.
Okay.
Again, from the CEO perspective or program management perspective, they see it like a challenge and something that they can get later. But if you embrace this since the beginning as part of your processes, as the starting point, for example, for another kind of regulations or another kind of frameworks like ISO 27001, or even for other kind of stuff like COVID or ETL from the infrastructure perspective, this will help you a lot. And it's a really, really nice starting point.
Okay. So what are then some of the best practices that you would like to share in the digital banking, for both for companies who are within the digital sector already, like born in the cloud kind of companies, but also the traditional, to kind of catch up with the pace of technology and be compliant as well. So what are some of the best practices that you can share?
More than a best practice, I think you need to trust in your team. But trust in your team, teaching them what you need. So objective and clarity of the objectives are really important. And from there, education. You need to teach your team what it means to be PCI DSS compliant, what it means to be ISO 27001 compliant, what is required from the regulatory perspective. We are working kind of on silos in different companies that I have been. You can see that you have silos, so you have the regulatory in one place and you have the tech in another place, and they are not like well connected. But in our current world, we are all connected, and we need to work all together, from finance, from regulatory, from compliance, all the stuff related with the users, information security like the PDPL or any other rule set that we can get from different countries or different continents. So work together. Teach your team how this works. So education, trust in your team, and try to make everything secure in a way that you can be sure that everything can be reviewed and you can follow the rules that are already in place. There are no rules, are more than an advice, if we can see it in that way.
Right. And I think that's a very, very important point, to break those silos, to work in collaboration, and to get the buy-in of everybody within the company in order to kind of reach that transformation goal as well as the compliance goal and all those goals together. So I think that's a really valid point. Thank you so much, Mr. Julian. It was an absolute pleasure hearing from you today. And for everybody who wants to hear more on this subject, do stay tuned in, and please do join for the Middle East Payment Summit on June 11th. Thank you very much.